everyone, and welcome to the full war moon ceremony. My name is Pnina Moldovano. I am now in Israel on the verge of moving to the UK, and I'm very happy to hold space and welcome the full moon of March just before springtime. And thank you, ladies, for articulating your intention for this full moon and putting in your energy. And anyone who watches this ceremony is welcome to put forth their intention for this full moon. Thank you. And breathe, everyone. So, so, um, I want to say that I've been doing these full moon ceremonies since the harvest moon in September 2024, which was a very special moon. And um, there's a specific energy associated with that moon that is taught in the Curanderos lineage held by Star Fuentes. Curanderos are healers from Mexico. And there's a very special ceremony, a youthing ceremony that can be done only once a year, only during the full moon, the full harvest moon, which usually falls in September. Some years it's in October, but in 2024 it was in September. And it was so powerful that I felt inclined to hold full moon ceremonies every full moon via Zoom, no matter where you are in the world, and with a glimpse at the moon, yes. And I do encourage you and everyone to, if you haven't already, to gaze at the full moon. It's very powerful just to go outside or look through your window and breathe in the energy of the full moon in order to fully receive and integrate its blessings. And every month, every full moon with each month carries its own energies. And sometimes it so happens that the full moon is coincides with other things that go around, with other energies, other holidays and special days. And this full moon happens to coincide with Purim, or as it is named in English, the Feast of Lots, which is a Jewish holiday. My favorite because it's about joy and you get to wear costumes, and that's a lot of fun. Okay, and now I will turn off the camera so I can concentrate. And so, what is the warm moon? So, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac, March's full moon goes by the name of warm moon after Native American tribes' traditions. And for many years, this name um, was known to be after the earthworms that appear as the soil warms in spring. And this invites robins and other birds to feed, a true sign of spring. So it's for the earthworms lurking around, coming out as the soil starts to warm up, approaching spring. However, some research revealed another explanation, and in 1760, Captain Jonathan Carver visited the Naudowessi, Dakota, and other Native American tribes. And he wrote that the name Warm Moon actually refers to a different sort of so-called worm. Actually, it's the beetle larvae which begin to emerge from the thawing bark of trees and other winter hideouts at this time. And breathe. So, whether it is named after earthworms or so called beetle larvae, it is about what's crawling underneath or behind winter hideouts that start to come out. And not only is tonight a beautiful full moon, we also have a total lunar eclipse or blood moon. So tonight actually is the first total lunar eclipse since 2022, which makes the warm moon a blood moon as well. So there are there are partial lunar eclipses and there are total lunar eclipses. And what happens during a lunar eclipse? So what happens is that the sun, the moon, and earth all align so that the earth comes in between the moon and the sun. And this means that the earth casts a shadow over the moon, also known as the umbra. And when the moon is in the umbra of the earth casts a reddish shadow, hence the name blood moon. And a total lunar eclipse, this is what is happening now, the first one in 3 years, it happens when the Earth's shadow is cast across the entire lunar surface and not just part of it. And this is a picture of what happens, of what we see, why the moon looks dark or a bit reddish. And this is why it's called the blood warm moon. And so the blood warm moon invites us to explore what has been lurking around underneath, what is hidden, and what is in our blood, what will come out and bloom next in spring. And breathe. So, whatever intention you put in for the blessings of the blood warm moon, whether it's something that you want to clear out, a shadow or shadows, whether it is something that you want to manifest, to bring forth something that is important to you, something that is in your blood. This is the time to bring it forward. Whatever is lurking around, whatever earthworm is underneath, sabotaging what it is that you want to manifest, what it is that you want to do and be, what is in the way of your soul's path. This is the time to bring it forward and ask the blood warm moon to clear that. And I invite you to take a deep breath and close your eyes. Sit comfortably on a chair Or if you're lying down, that is fine. And relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And with every breath, you become more and more relaxed. Relaxing your feet, your legs, your hips. Relaxing your pelvic area, your abdomen, your chest. Relaxing your hands, your shoulders, your neck, your face, and your head. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I invite you to look within yourself, with your third eye. Look underneath your skin, underneath the layers of denial, layers of ego, layers of the past, underneath your feet, under the floor, and go even deeper underneath that. Is there anything there? Continue to breathe deeply. What do you see, feel, sense, hear, smell? Just observe. There's no judgment. There's no fear. You are safe. You're just observing. Underneath it all, what is there? Is it dark? Is it light? Is it your shadow that suddenly gets the spots? Or perhaps you have tapped onto what is in your soul and what is in every cell of your body. And be with that. And whatever it may be, ask for what it needs. If it needs or wants to be cleared, or if it asks to be addressed, if it wants to come out, listen to what it has to say to you and breathe. And if you do not get anything, it's okay. It's okay. Your soul has heard, and the answer may be more clearly stated later on as you come out of this meditation. Maybe later on, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. It's okay. And if you do know what it needs, whether you can put it in words or not, trust, trust, and provide it with what it needs. Ask psychically the blood war moon to clear whatever needs to be cleared and to let what is in your blood that wants to come out in bloom, come out. And make a commitment to do that. And breathe. Mm. Thank you, blood war moon. Give gratitude to the full moon of March in total eclipse. Give gratitude to what you have seen, felt, sensed underneath it all. And give gratitude to yourself for coming thus far and for all that you are. Thank you. Take a deep breath and come up, up from underneath, up to the surface and above the surface, like a trip in an elevator. You are raising above ground, raising your consciousness slowly and gently to the here and now. And slowly and gently start moving your body a little. Start moving your toes, your fingers, your body. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. And come back to your body. Come back to the here and now, to the chair, to the sofa, to the room where you are at. And open your eyes. Hmm. And you are fully back in the here and now. Yeah. So take a deep breath, everyone. And yeah, a total lunar eclipse reminds us that shadow is a natural part of the universe. It's a natural part of our biology, of our body, of who we are as people. Without shadow, there's no light. It just is. And it is only by embracing the dark side as well, not pushing it aside or underneath until it becomes monstrous and contaminates our path. No, it is only by accepting it, embracing it as well, that we don't let it run our lives, and yet we can enjoy the gifts and treasures hidden underneath, hidden in the shadow. For example, use our power for good, practice white magic, connect to all of our facets and integrate them fully. And breathe and breathe. And today is also Purim, or Feast of Lots. And Purim commemorates, it's a Jewish holiday, usually celebrated in March. It is in which we read traditionally the Book of Esther in the Old Testament, or Scroll of Esther. And it commemorates the saving of the Jewish people from annihilation by King Ahasuerus, Viceroy Haman in Old Persia. So back in the day, King Ahasuerus was right, ruled the old Persian Empire. We started by saying that today's full moon coincides with Purim, the Jewish holiday, also known as the Feast of Lots, in which traditionally we read the Book of Esther in the Old Testament. And back in the day, it was King Ahasuerus who ruled the great old Persian Empire. Okay. And his viceroy, Haman, he casts a lot, and lot in Hebrew is poor, poor, therefore the word Purim, lots, to select the date in which he would execute all Jews. And that date came out to be the 14th of Adar, Adar in the Hebrew calendar. And Adar usually falls in March. Okay. So Haman casts a lot, and the people were supposed to be executed. However, Queen Esther, who has disguised her identity, she invites the king and Haman to a feast where she reveals her identity and she reveals Haman's plan. And so the king is furious and instead orders Haman to be hanged. And so Esther saves her people and changes their destiny. Okay? Their destiny. And breathe. And this is why it is also a custom in Purim to have a feast, give gifts, especially to the poor, gifts of candy and food. And we wear costumes and celebrate. We wear masks as if they conceal our identity, just as Queen Esther had to conceal her identity. However, eventually, Queen Esther was true to herself and she did reveal her identity and was wise and brave enough to save her people. And you know, by the way, that there are only two books in the Old Testament named after women. There's the book of Ruth and the book of Esther. and breathe. And many girls dress up in Purim as Queen Esther. However, there's another queen in that book, and that is Queen Vashti. And Queen Vashti, as you can see here, this is Vashti in a painting, and this is Esther. Vashti was King Ahasuerus' first wife. She is briefly mentioned at the beginning of the scroll of Esther. And it is said that the king had a feast and with his respected guests, and he ordered Queen Vashti to come and show herself, reveal herself to his esteemed guests because he wanted them to enjoy her great beauty. And of course, this is open to interpretation. Did he want her just to show up? Did he want her to dance or do other things? But in any event, he wanted her to reveal herself. Yet Queen Vashti refused. Refused. And of course, the king got mad, and his advisors told him, listen, you need to um, expel her because, we don't want other women in the kingdom, other women in the empire to follow her lead and disobey their husbands, right? So indeed, King Ahasuerus let her go. And this is the last time we ever hear of Vashti. And then the story goes that the king had like a beauty contest, or the best of the women of old Persia, the best of virgins, of course, came along and offered themselves to be the wife of the king, and he chose Esther without knowing she was Jewish. And breathe. And when I was a young girl in kindergarten, in school, I was taught that Vashti was mean and ugly. And because she was bad because, of course, she disobeyed the king. And Esther, on the other hand, was beautiful and modest and humble and wise because, well, she did save her people. And as I mentioned earlier, all little girls wanted to dress up as Queen Esther on Purim. No one wanted to dress up as Vashti. However, thankfully, later on, different people, different women have reread the book of Esther. And as any text, whatever your faith or denomination is, as any text, it is open for interpretation, and different interpretations have been offered. And suddenly you say, hey, hey, everything I was told was wrong. Why no? Actually, Vashti is a badass, right? I mean, she's not bad. She's just a badass. That's American slang, right? I mean, she needed to have some balls. Oops, that's another form of slang. I mean, how brave and strong was she to also be true to herself, to also be loyal to herself, and do what she wanted to do, not what her king commanded her to do. Yeah. So actually, when we think about it, when we take that in, we see that we have two characters, two queens who have had different paths. We don't know what what Vashti did after she left the palace. We don't know what turned up with her, which path and destiny awaited her. We do know which path Esther took and what her destiny was. But remember, Esther's destiny was very fragile as well. Because of a lot, she was supposed to be killed, but she survived. And we have two characters, two queens, very different, but very much alike. Both of them have stayed true to themselves. Both of them were brave and courageous. Both of them were beautiful. So at least the book says so, yes? And just as we were talking earlier about dark and light, night and day, sun and moon, shadow and light, not necessarily say that this one is shadow or this or that one represents the shadow, but in the way they differ, both of them represent different facets, different aspects of who we are as women, as people. And they invite us to embrace our inner queen or king this Purim and every day. Every day. Yes. And realize that no one is better than the other. They just are. They just are the way they are. And they exist. They exist in each and every one of you, of us. And take a deep breath. And are you ready? Are you ready to proclaim your inner queen in all her glory? All, stressing all. The shadow and the light side of her. When she's happy and when she's cranky. When she's a rebel and when she's a diplomat. Okay? All her glory. And just as Esther changed the destiny of herself and her people, so can you today, tonight, with this warm blood moon, with all the different destinies, different possibilities, different opportunities coming out from the surface, coming out from underneath. You get to choose. You get to cast a lot, so to speak, your own lot, and choose your path, your destiny. what is lurking inside for you and what is in your blood. Which destiny is in your blood? Which path is your soul path that you want to walk on? Just as Queen Esther walked her path, her different destiny, different path, and just as Queen Vashti did. And let the blood of the female, the blood of these queens, and the blood of this full moon heal what needs to be healed in you. Clear all paths, all possibilities, and breathe so you can choose your own destiny in alignment with your highest good and the highest good of all concerned. Amen. Amen. And what a wonderful divine timing to hold this energy and have this ceremony today, a few days before spring comes, before the spring equinox on March the 20th, to clear out, to be present, to tap into what's in your blood so you can blossom, blossom in joy, in light, with the flowers of spring. And so I wish you all blessings, many, many blessings on your chosen, illuminated, divine, royal path and destiny, whatever it may be. And happy spring. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Bye.